Constantino, pound for pound.
Little Giant Boxing.
Yeah, with Jim Lampley. Jim, obviously crazy turn of events last night. Fundora upset the wild card, Tim Tszyu, and now Errol Spence and Crawford are fighting for that fight, wanting that fight. What do you think?
Well, if I'm Fundora and I want to create a relationship with PBC that might lead to a continuing stream of bouts and money, maybe I would lean towards Spence. If I'm Fundora and in my beating heart I want to go as high as I can go on the boxing totem pole, I would choose to fight. If those options are actually real, I would choose to fight the number one pound-for-pound fighter in the world. Terence Crawford's the number one pound-for-pound fighter in the world. If you fight Errol Spence, you are tacitly acknowledging that you don't want to fight somebody as good as Terence Crawford. So, it all depends on how Fundora wants to be seen after this windfall of getting hold of a title belt, because there was nothing within the boxing rule structure that effectively covered the fact that Tszyu was egregiously fouled with an elbow shot on the top of the head.
Fundora said, you know what? I love that Crawford fight over Spence because he's the pound-for-pound number one guy. So obviously, it looks like he's going to go that route.
He and I are on the same page there.
Exactly.
Fight the number one pound-for-pound guy if you've got that opportunity, regardless of the validity of how you got it.
What do you think about the split between Spence and Derek James? It looks like now he's exploring the possibility of a new trainer.
A new trainer for?
Errol Spence. He's looking for...
Well, I don't know enough about Spence's relationship with Derek James, what went down, et cetera, and, seems to me that Errol Spence had done pretty well with Derek James up to that point, and he fought a better fighter. When you fight a better fighter and lose the fight, that doesn't necessarily dictate that you fire the trainer or separate from the trainer, or maybe the trainer wants to be finished with him. I don't really know. I'm not privy to all those discussions, but I doubt it's going to make a giant difference as to how Spence will be seen or how he would compete if he had a rematch with Terence Crawford.
And then Canelo Munguia, obviously a huge fight, May 4th here, Mexican Showdown. What do you think?
Well, everybody assumes that Canelo is going to beat Munguia down because Munguia is the most entertaining kind of fighter. He hits and gets hit. Canelo has achieved greater and greater defense over the years. He has a granite chin. He would be the favorite in the fight. If Canelo is at the point where a hard puncher less refined than him can get the better of him, then maybe there's a risk, but most people seem to feel like it's an easy win for Canelo Alvarez.
And Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, what did you make of that whole fiasco?
I don't even think about it. I have no reason to waste any brain cells on Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. I love Mike. He's a very dear friend. I hope everything turns out well for him in terms of safety and money. There's no way I would watch that.
Lastly, what do you make of Pitbull saying, you know what, Ryan? Come up here. I want to fight you.
Pitbull made a statement last night. Pitbull has a tremendous bond with fans. It's an entirely different kind of bond than the bond with Ryan Garcia and his audience. I'm not even sure that the members of Ryan Garcia's audience would understand the threat to him if he chose to fight somebody who is as aggressive and punishing a fighter as Pitbull is.
And then lastly, Haney Garcia, obviously a blockbuster fight, April 20th at the Barclays Center in New York City. What do you think?
I think that Haney is the better boxer, and 90% of the time in a situation like that, the better boxer is going to win the fight. Devin Haney's been in with Vasily Lomachenko. Ryan Garcia hasn't been in with anybody like that. So at the end of the day, you got to make Haney a fairly prohibitive favorite in that fight.
All right. Anything you want to leave us with, Jim?
What?
Anything you want to leave us with?
Keep punching.
All right, I will.